Good morning and good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to episode 10 of Chat with a Doctor and Small Businesses. Today we have a very cool guest. I'm going to bring her on and we will chat a little bit and wait for some people. And we'll talk some more, okay? Let's see here. Kathryn, how are you doing?
Hey,
so we're going to wait
a
little bit. I'm good. I'm going to wait a little bit and have some people tag us.
Cool.
And so you said the weather is nice there?
Yeah, it's been, we're in the middle of winter. It's our first year living in Melbourne, so we weren't really sure what to expect, but it's been really nice, like never gets below 60 Fahrenheit. It's really nice. I still say Fahrenheit, even though I've been living outside of the US for like the last 4 years.
Did they give you a hard time?
No, I mean, it's like never comes up in conversation, but if it did, it might be a little embarrassing.
Do you, what part, do you live in the northern parts of Melbourne, like where they have all that countryside with the kangaroos?
Oh, it's so pretty there. I think I know what you're talking about. I've been around there like a little bit, but I live in Collingwood, which is one of the inner suburbs. So it's like about a 20-minute walk to the CBD. Yeah, like kind of in the city part of the city.
So, I can't remember exactly, but because when we stayed, that's where we stayed when I was there last year.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there's a big community there. That makes sense.
And we would frequent this place. It turns out he was my cousin. He owns a place. Maybe I'll connect you with him. He has a restaurant called Tabbouleh. Have you been there?
Oh, that's amazing. No, I haven't. I would love to. I would love to check it out.
He's my cousin, but his food is amazing. So it's not because he's my cousin, but he really is. Yeah. His food was crazy, and this guy is super busy, and he's closer to the city, so he might be closer to where you are.
Yeah, that's awesome. Right? I would love to check it out.
So I'll connect.
I feel like all of my cousins are amazing cooks. All of our cousins are right? Like the best, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's super nice. There are two guys that own the place, and they own their own restaurant. They have outdoor seating. I think you'll like the place. Let me see. I'm almost done tagging here. Let me see. Tag some people. So have you been to Chicago?
Yeah, I'm actually from there. I grew up in Chicago. I forgot to tell you that before. Yeah, my sister still lives there. My parents live there. They're about to move to Phoenix, but yeah, they've been in Chicago forever.
Yeah. Are they going to move now?
No, not now. I just mean like sometime in the next few years. Yeah.
I think they're trying to lock them down now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phoenix, Arizona, and then I think Florida are having issues.
Yeah, it's my grandmother is in Phoenix. We've been hearing all about it. It's a little bit scary, but yeah. Good. Chicago's got it pretty under control.
Thank God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we did a good job.
Thanks to you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we should start. And so I'll bring you back in a little bit. Okay.
Cool.
Awesome. Let's see here. Okay, everybody. So it's me again. And so let me show you what the lineup is today. Let me share my screen. There you go. Okay. So we got episode 10, and today we're going to focus more on the business side with the guests, right? So we have episode 10. Let me do this. Okay. So first we're going to do medical language busters like we always do. And then we'll talk about our business. Maybe we'll jump to the business first. We'll just do the business first, and then we'll jump to the medical language mythbusters. And then we'll talk to this lovely lady, Kathryn. She's a founder of this amazing cooking situation. We'll get to her soon. So the people we're going to talk about today is the Center for Canadian-Assyrian Relations. And these people are donating playing cards, and they're Assyrian themed. They're very, very cool. They said they would be willing to ship to the United States and to Canada, or Canada and the United States, right? Because they're in Toronto. So let's talk a little bit about these nice people. This is their logo. They're really into red, right? I don't know if it's a Canadian thing, but they're really, really into red. Okay. And remember, if you tag 10 people on the main page, then you'll be eligible to win these playing cards, right? You can be anywhere in the United States or in Canada. The people you tag could be literally from anywhere. Okay. So let's see. The CCAR is a nonprofit, and they're based in the Greater Toronto Area. Their mission is to build bridges between Canadian and Assyrian communities, and their focus is educational related things. They did all this stuff, right? I'm not going to go through all of these things. They do Christmas concerts and recitals. They do educational lectures. They have this awesome market online. I'll show it to you as well. You can order things from there. They partner with really amazing organizations like Renio, obviously us, and other ones in Canada. They do Bible restorations. So what they do is they have these old Bibles. They have this guy that works with part of the group that he looks for these older Bibles, and then he helps restore them, right? And then restore them. So they have also a Assyrian dance company and so forth. Goals is to obviously host more recitals and get into the community a little bit more. They want to do more Akitu related issues, like around our Assyrian New Year's. And they work on documentaries, so that hopefully we'll see that pretty soon, and obviously increase membership. What can you do to help? Obviously attend their events when it's COVID allowed, right? So obviously there's no events right now. They do have virtual events. So if you visit the CCAR Facebook, you'll see their events, but virtually, please. And then you can join them, and they have their market, and we'll show you the market soon. So let me show you some pictures. This is the Christmas event they had in 2015. And this is 2016. You can see it's very nice and very professional. And then that's me right there. And this is this is just last year. This is last year. We had a Christmas event over there. It's very, very nice. We had this little tiny church, very cozy, very nice. And this is some other pictures from the recital. And then let me show you their marketplace. So you can go here, and so the marketplace is more for Canadian, right? So obviously most of these are from Renio. So if you are in the United States, you can order these. So there's men's, there's women's, there's long sleeve, short sleeves, and it's in Canadian money. And there's kids. So you can just click on this. It's very easy to buy, very easy to use, very friendly. And these are the gift, right? So the gift is right here. So you will win this if you're one of the winners, or you are the winner, okay? So let's do our Mythbusters. Our Mythbusters today, we're gonna do 3 medical Mythbusters, and then we're gonna do 3 language ones, right? And then we'll talk to our lovely guest. So first Mythbuster is this one. I've heard that you shouldn't drink milk when you have a cold because it increases phlegm. Is this true? Okay, so is that true? So if you have a cold, should you drink milk? Obviously, if you're on your phone, you can just submit your answer. You can submit your answer here, and I'll just plug it in. But what do you guys think? A, B, or C? So if you have a cold, should you be drinking milk or dairy products, or is that bad for you? So I got a false here. Anybody else brave enough to answer? Got 1B. Got 2 B's. Anybody else want to tackle this one? So drink milk or not drink milk? So if you're sick and you have a cold, would you recommend people to drink milk or yogurt or not? So I got 3 B's. So technically, these people are awesome and they're right. So it is false. So actually, it's better because when people are sick, usually they don't want to eat, right? So because of that, they need those little bit of extra calories that they can get from the dairy products. So it's actually a good thing. And it doesn't increase the phlegm. Whoever made that up, I don't know, maybe they didn't maybe they were lactose intolerant or something. So again, this is the website that you would go onto if you want to participate live, or you can just text it. Next question. Oh, these people are fast. Next question is, the nutrient content of canned or frozen foods are less than fresh foods. So is the nutrient content of canned and frozen foods less than fresh foods? What do you guys think? So a lot of people always say, oh, I'm going to get fresh food from the grocery store. I'm not going to buy canned stuff because I want better fresh things for my family. So what do you think? How would that work? Okay, so we have only one person, and they're saying it's false. So the answer is it's false. But nutrients, we have two people now. So nutrients, technically, the frozen foods, when they get frozen, or the canned foods, they preserve their nutrients more. Because when you have fresh foods and they're shipped, and let's say if you get fresh foods that are really, really off the tree, then yes. But most of the time when you buy fresh foods, they're shipped from a different location. And when they're shipped from a different location, then they lose a lot of those nutrients. So technically speaking, sometimes those canned and frozen foods might have a little bit more depending on how old the fresh food is, right? But at the same time, you need to be careful with the salt content that the canned foods and frozen foods have. So you would just look at the salt content, because they add salt because salt is a natural preservative. So you just have to be a little bit careful on that side, okay? But technically speaking, maybe in some times it might be better to do frozen. So let's do the other question. Let me just activate it. Next question is about the mincha and aluminum. So does aluminum cans, there's this thing, it came out that people were thinking if they drink from aluminum cans or use pots and pans or water bottles or something, that it would increase their risk of dementia. So is that true? Do you think that it's true that we should stay away from cans and go with bottles and pots that are not made from aluminum, or it doesn't really matter? So far everybody's getting, I might have to make harder ones. Everybody always gets these right. This is good. So anybody else want to tackle this one? Do they think it's false or they don't know? We have another B. So mostly fake news. Yes. So technically speaking, there was a scare. It was mostly in the 80s that people were saying that, oh, they thought it was connected, but technically, no, it's not connected. And so there's no further research in that area because it's not a big deal. You won't get it. Hopefully you won't get it. Now we're going to go to our language busters. Let's see how you guys answer this one. How would you answer this? Pen. Would you go with A, B, or no idea? Would you say Khania? Would you say Khalama, or no idea? So we get our first, I got my first no idea today. Okay, anybody else? Anybody know how to say pen? No, Assyrian, Syriac, Surat people, speakers. You can always answer in the comments if you want. That also counts. You don't have to participate in the actual website. Okay, so we have Khania, we have Khalama. Okay. Anybody else want to participate? So we have a 33% split all the way. We have another B. We'll give it one more second. I'm going to have to switch off. Nobody? Nobody wants to do A? So A is the right answer. It's really Khania is the actual word. Khalama is more of an Arabic, Persian situation. So it looks like people are smarter with medical stuff, which is good too. Let's see. Let me activate the other one. How about history? How would you go with saying history? A, B, or C? So I have A. So anybody else want to try this one? Not much. So A is the correct answer. I did answer it. So yeah, so everybody's answering A, and my computer will let me input them anymore, but it's all answering A, and A is the correct answer. We have one more, and then we'll start with our guest. Bring this back up. How would you say school? Would you go with A, madrasa, or B, madrasa, or I don't know? Anybody want to tackle this one? A, B, or C? A. Maybe we should make these easier too. This one goes for A as well, because madrash, there you go. So we got 2 A's. So we got 3 out of 3 of the medical ones people got right. Out of the language ones, 2 out of the 3, which is not bad. Pretty good. So now let's bring on our guest. Let me get rid of this here and bring on Kathryn at the stream. Kathryn, you're on.
Hey.
How are you today?
Again, good. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Excited about today. So yeah, we've been super excited that you're going to be on the show. A lot of people texted us and messaged us, oh my God, she's going to be on your show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
Here. Yes, here, right in my virtual studio, right? Yes, yeah. Yes. My wine behind. I would offer wine and cheese, but
same, yeah.
Right, it's close. So let's see. Let me just show them your website really, really quick here. So you have this really, really awesome website. And I wanted to show the website, well, because I wanted to show them your website. And then this thing caught my eyes. This is really nice.
Thanks.
It's making me hungry too. I haven't had dinner yet. But this is like super awesome.
I haven't had breakfast yet.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So let's see. So tell us a little bit more about you, because I tried to read about you and I got super confused. There was New Jersey, there was Chicago, there was Melbourne, there was so many different places.
Yeah.
And so how did this work?
Yeah, I've lived in a lot of different places, but right now I'm in Melbourne, in Australia, and most recently I was living in Hong Kong for the last 2 or 3 years before that. And then before that, I was in grad school in Jersey. I was, in like New Jersey at Rutgers. I was studying English Lit and teaching poetry. Then before that, I was in New Haven, and before that, I was in Bloomington, Indiana, and I grew up in Chicago. It's a long answer.
So do you have a favorite place?
No, I mean, I've been thinking a lot, actually. Like I'm writing this, I was writing a couple of sort of essays about like some of the places that I've lived recently. And I just feel so equally nostalgic for all of them. And it's funny because like when you're living somewhere, you don't appreciate it until you leave. And but yeah, I love all the places I've lived.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So the name of your business, how did that come to be?
Yeah. So you're a Chicagoan also, so you might have been to the Swedish bakery before in Andersonville?
Yes.
Or had any like family members who worked there? Because I feel like so many of us have family members who worked there. At least in my family.
Yes,
okay,
cool.
I've been there. Yes. Yeah, that's awesome. It's like my favorite. I'm so sad that it's gone. But when my family first immigrated to the US, that was the first place that my grandmother worked, and her sister works there as well as like a bunch of people in my family started off by working at the Swedish bakery. And it was just like this really wonderful experience. They like taught my family how to speak English. They gave my grandmother kind of like the study guide to help acclimate her and like help explain to like how to interact with customers and how to kind of common phrases in English that she might need every day.
Yeah.
And so we just had this really wonderful relationship with like the owners of the bakery. And so over the years, as my grandmother moved on to other jobs, we kept in touch with them, and they would sell us cardamom wholesale, like just at cost for like whatever they would buy it for. And so my grandmother would end up like buying these gigantic, like seriously, like a kilo bag of cardamom.
Yeah.
And it would be all like pre-ground, and she would just use it the whole year long in her baklava and all of her baking. And she would just like kind of like leave it in this bag in her pantry. And so the entire house just smelled like cardamom. And it was just the most beautiful, like you would just like walk into her house and it just smelled like she had like a scented candle from Anthropology or something. And she also had like, we would serve chai she would serve chai to like every single person who walked through the door, chai shlama. And so she had just, these things of Lipton tea in the pantry, just like giant kind of Costco size containers of Lipton tea. And these two smells just sort of like intermingled. When you'd make a cup of tea, it would taste like it had cardamom in it, even though it like didn't. Like it just kind of, the smell of cardamom and tea and the taste of cardamom and tea are just these two things that I really associate with like my grandparents' house growing up.
That's awesome. That's so cool. So did you ever think of making a candle?
Yeah, that would be wonderful. I've never made my own candles, but
that'd be cool.
Or just like storing cardamom in my pantry in the same way. I have all these like spice jars. What am I doing? I should like let them be free.
That's so cool. Now, how about, so you were saying how you did poetry. You were studying poetry, and then you were telling me how you were a teacher. So how did you go, or how long have you been doing this whole recipe inspired on Assyrian American food, and how did that happen?
Yeah, so I've been doing it for just a little bit over 3 years. And basically I was like in grad school. I had just finished my oral exams. So I was in a PhD program, and it's kind of this point where everybody sort of stops and decides, is this for me? Do I really want to continue working on my dissertation, or do I want to leave with my master's degree?
Yeah.
And so I was sort of like coming to terms with the fact that it wasn't really the right fit for me. I didn't really want to become a research professor. I really loved teaching, and I loved my students.
That's
and
cool.
I mean, I loved all of my colleagues too, but it just wasn't, it wasn't really the right fit for me. So I kind of I feel like a lot of people in grad school, when you're writing like that often, and having to kind of push yourself constantly to produce so much writing, you start to develop like a little bit of a toxic relationship with it. And so the blog was kind of this way for me to take writing and turn it into something to like kind of remember what I loved about writing when I first started doing it. And to write about something that, that I really cared about. Because I was, kind of starting to care a little bit less about the work that I was doing in my grad program, and thinking that maybe I wanted to write about something else. So it just kind of, it ended up organically becoming more of a full-time thing. And eventually after like about the first 6 months, or maybe the first year, I decided to leave grad school. Since then I've worked I spent a bit of time working in a restaurant, but mostly have been working on the blog, and working on another sort of secret project right now, but hopefully we'll get to announce that sometime in the next year or so.
That's super cool. Super awesome. So did you have something specific that inspired you with these recipes? I'm going to put some of these on here. And so was it more grandma related, or was there something else?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think I do sort of like a combination. I like documenting some things. Like you can see this family recipes tab. There are like, you don't have to, whatever works, but they're down by browse by theme. There's like a photo of my Aunt Mossy flinging the washa. So these are all recipes that I've like documented from family members, or learned how to make from family members. And I think that's a really important part of preserving our culture. But then I like to also like create new things, and talk a bit about like Oh, this is one of my favorite posts. It's about how to record family recipes.
Yeah.
Because we all kind of know that experience of like you're in the kitchen with your nana and you're like, okay, like how much do I add? How do I know when it's done? And she's like, you know when it's done because it smells right. Like just kind of looks at you like, of course, like shouldn't you know this? Or like, you know, just add a pinch, add a handful, just add hacha.
You don't know? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think it's really important to know what questions to ask. Don't ask those kinds of questions of like, how many cups do you add if they don't measure in cups, because you're not going to get a very useful answer.
Yeah.
If you want to know the exact amount, use a digital scale. And if you really want to get to like the heart of the dish, ask like really open questions, and ask kind of like the sorts of questions that don't assume that you know the answer. And anyway, that's my spiel on family recipes.
That's super cool. I'm just like, this is making me more hungry. Next time we're gonna do this live, okay, Kathryn?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm either gonna come there or we'll fly you out here.
Perfect.
And then we'll do it that way. So obviously, guys, if anybody has a question, you can always ask a question. Don't ask her to obviously, you know, give you the whole recipe. You can visit her website. But if you guys have any little questions or anything, we can answer them, obviously. Okay. How about pointers? Let's say if somebody wanted to experiment, let's say, obviously I can't cook, but let's say if I wanted to, or somebody else wanted to, and experiment with different kind of recipes, not just like our recipes from the home country. What pointers?
I assume you don't have time to cook, right? I mean, you seem really busy right now and busy always.
I haven't good intentions about cooking, but it just never happens.
Yeah, I think that one of the best things to do if you really want to get into cooking is, well, first of all, like have fun and like find a way to make it fun for yourself, because if it's not fun, like what's the point? You can always order takeout. You can always like hopefully go to your mother's house or father's house to like have them cook for you. But yeah, I think like make it fun for yourself. But I think the main thing that makes cooking fun and easy for me is knife skills. So like if you don't have like kind of the you know, the super chef knife skills where they like lead the knife with their knuckles and it's like super safe so that you won't cut yourself. Like
I don't know,
find some like YouTube. Yeah, it's really hard. It takes a ton of practice, but it just makes cooking so much more fun. Like when I'll sometimes cook with like a beginner, like my husband, who like he's really not much of a cook, but sometimes he'll join me in the kitchen, and just kind of like watching him like very slowly mince vegetables. I'm always like amazed that that it's still fun for him, because for me, I would be like, this is so tedious to just sit there and like, but I think like learning how to chop quickly, a lot of people do it to show off, which is like kind of silly, but I think just like doing it to make cooking, learning how to quickly and safely prep a bunch of vegetables makes cooking so much more fun and so much more efficient. And yeah, I have a video, I can send you a link to it, but I have a video, if you actually scroll all the way to the bottom of that page that you're on, the series of cooking and baking guides. There's like a bar at the bottom. Sorry.
Hold on. I can't see it.
It's like under browse by theme. There it is. Yeah.
Okay.
And then how to slice, how to wash, chop, and store herbs. Both of those have videos that you can watch that explain like how to learn how to like, you know, to chop like really efficiently. So I think exactly, without chopping your fingers off, without chopping someone else's fingers off. Yeah.
A little bit important. Right? Cool.
So it's got like it's a little bit awkward at first, and it's kind of something that you have to get used to, but once you do, it makes cooking so much more fun, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tell me, so do you have a favorite recipe in this page that I should go to?
Yeah. Let me think. I feel like my sesame blossom cookies are one of the most popular. If you go to the search bar and search sesame blossom,
You want me
That
to
should be the
spell?
easiest way. I think just sesame. Yeah, sesame blossom. I think it's SESA. Oh, there they are, though. Perfect.
You're asking a doctor to spell.
I don't know how to spell either. I do crosswords all the time with my husband, and yeah, absolutely that one.
And does he always win?
I'm really good at them. I'm actually better at crosswords than he is, but he's a way better speller than I am. So like, he's always like, "How did you think that was spelled that way?" It's pretty funny, but yeah.
This is
okay. So yeah, so the sesame blossoms, they're inspired by like, you know, the kind of did your mom do like Christmas cookie parties in the 90s? Yeah, that was like such a thing in my neighborhood growing up. So they're inspired by my neighbor's peanut butter blossom cookies.
Yeah.
But then they're also inspired by like those Lebanese cookies that you can get in like a lot of Assyrian bakeries and Lebanese and Middle Eastern bakeries that are like those really crispy, like sesame crusted cookies. You know what I'm talking about?
Barazak, yes.
Yes, barazak. I always pronounce them wrong, so I like avoid saying them.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so they're inspired by those, but they're way chewier. They're more like the texture of like a peanut butter cookie. But they have the same kind of flavor, and they're made with tahini instead of peanut butter. I have a peanut allergy, so I actually kind of selfishly made them because I can't eat those anymore.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. I get to eat sesame blossom instead.
These look amazing. So this is what this is what we'll make when you're here, when I come there on our next show.
Or maybe I'll ship you guys some.
Or yes, you can ship them as well. So how about, let's say if you're going to host a dinner party and you want to impress somebody with what you're making or your guests, what would be your go-to recipes for dinner?
So my go-to dinner party like sort of menu is really, really simple. And I like doing a lot of things you can make in advance, because I think the best kind of tone you can set for a dinner party is to be like present and to, I mean, I don't even know the next time I'm actually going to have a dinner party, but once we're all back to actually like safely having dinner parties, it's like so wonderful when you can actually be there with your guests and not be sort of like stuck behind the stove or stuck in the kitchen. I get really distracted when I'm cooking. So even though I have an open kitchen, like my stove is right over there, my, dining room's right there. I can't multitask and like talk to someone and cook something at the same time. And so I think, so basically my favorite thing to make is sabzi kordan as an appetizer, which is something that like my family, from like going to so many Persian restaurants, we've gotten really into it. So I have a vegan one on there, but I also have this baked feta one. It's like so easy. And if you don't feel like baking the feta, like the traditional way is just to have like a some feta in the center. So it's just so easy. You can like wash all the herbs ahead of time. You could put the whole plate together. The only thing is I've noticed like if you're having non-Assyrian people over, you have to instruct your guests to take way more herbs than they think, because I've noticed that like non-Assyrian people will just kind of like take a big piece of pita, a big piece of feta, and they'll sprinkle like a leaf of basil on top. And it's like, no. You need to take a handful of basil, handful of parsley. So I think kind of giving everyone a demo and being like, it's okay to eat that much basil. It's kind of an exciting and fun thing that, especially if you're having like non-Assyrian people over, they might not be used to. There's this vegan version I've got. If you don't want to use feta, you can like whole roast a cauliflower. And then I like to do like a lot of maza and just have like hummus and baba ganoush and all that good stuff. Because it's really easy to like make in advance, and you just, put it on a plate, dip the spoon across the surface, top it with olive oil. It just looks really pretty. Oh yeah, that's a breakfast maza I've got. And then
we're doing dinner.
I've got a maza if you like way back when. If you scroll,
which way?
All the way to the bottom, I think.
Bottom? This one?
Oh, let's see. That one in the middle at the top right there.
This one,
by the baba ganoush.
Oh yes.
Yeah, this is like a dinner party menu that you can throw together. I feel like if my grandmother saw that I called that a dinner party, she would be like, "That's all you're serving your guests?" But I mean,
that's all we say.
Yeah, it's like nice if you just kind of provide a bunch of different little things, have like backups in the fridge. Yeah, and just it's like so easy, you know. And then you can make the main course if you feel like spending more time.
Yeah.
You can make dolma or something. It's one of my favorite things to make for guests, especially with like the acrobatic dolma flip at the end, where you know you like flip the giant pot and everybody holds their breath. Yeah, so like I think dolma, meza, sabzi kordan, go easy on yourself whenever you can. And if you feel like going all out and making dolma, go for it. But people I think are most impressed when you're just really chill and like not stressing in the kitchen.
Exactly. Oh, this is so nice. This is perfect before dinner or before your breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So what do you hope? So you said you've been doing this for about 3 years, right? So what do you hope to accomplish that or Cardamom and Tea would accomplish in the future?
Yeah. I mean, I think that like one of the things that I really care about is like we were talking about before, just kind of like documenting family recipes. And that's something that I want to keep doing, hoping to, you know, get back to the US sometime once it's safe to travel again, to keep documenting all of this stuff. And once it's safe to, you know, I have some family here, it would be really wonderful to cook with them sometime soon also. But yeah, and then also like I think just creating our own culture is really important as well, and like or continuing to create culture to add on to the existing culture that we have. And I think there are like a lot of I'm really inspired by a lot of Assyrian artists who are doing like I think a similar kind of thing, like Esther Elia, Rabla Betchmal. He's I think local in Chicago. Yeah, so I think just kind of continuing to do the work that they're doing that I like to think of myself as doing. Yeah.
Do you have any chocolate stuff?
Ooh, I do. If you actually go back to the recipes page, and then if you sort by ingredient at the top with that big tomato pile, and then it's all alphabetical. So if you look at, there should be a chocolate tab. There it is.
Oh my God. This is
I love adding chocolate to baklava.
This might look cool.
Oh, those are really good. I love chocolate and orange blossom, which you don't really see together very much because I feel like we don't do that. We don't combine those two flavors traditionally very often, but they're really good together.
I usually always look for it. The best I've had chocolate and orange together was in France.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yes, it was beautiful. It was in
I mean, everything in France is, all the pastries are so good, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, but that's super cool though. So far I got comments for you. Love your blog and one of my favorite blogs. So we have
thanks.
fans. That's super cool. But it's awesome that
so nice.
you like artists and everybody influence each other or inspire each other. It's pretty awesome. And it's pretty good. It's good to show people that we can have a positive twist and things are not just always negative with our community, with like history and dark ages. Like we have a bright future. We have people that are working hard, that are creating new, and it's not like that food that my grandma was making. That's it. That's Assyrian food. That's it. That we can create.
Or that it's also important, right? You know.
So it's
I think Esther Elia's art really, I think, speaks to what you're saying, where she does focus so much on the past, but she does it in like such a new way. Yeah.
Anything else you would like to share with these nice people?
Just thank you so much for your kind words. It's really sweet to see those comments. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know.
Thank you. So again, everybody, if you want to win these cards, let me show you the cards again. I'm so stuck with these chocolate recipes. Look at this. Okay, let me show you the cards. Sorry. The cards are again right here, right? So they're a $25 Canadian value. And
that is so cool.
Right.
Can I interrupt for a second just to say, like, we've also been playing a lot of gin rummy because we've been obviously like everybody just spending all this time at home. Those are amazing. Anyway, go on.
So I don't know if they shipped them to Australia though. I think they got them from Australia. Let me talk to them.
Oh, no way.
But I'll let you know, right? But
cool.
So let's see. So far we only have one person and I think she's from Toronto. So maybe that'll be even easier to ship to her. But we'll give people a couple seconds. Anybody interested in these cards? All you have to do is tag 10 people and you'll get these cards. Anybody, anything, we'll just keep them and you can play. Oh, you have another comment that says, very nice block.
Oh, thanks.
3 in a row. And Umta said we can ship them to Australia for Kathryn.
Oh, that's awesome. I think I'm going to buy some later today.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, just let her know. They're in Canadian, though. Be careful. Aussie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's about the same, though. Yeah.
Okay. I think it is Canada
right?
and Australia,
so.
yeah.
So everybody, thank you for today. It looks like we have one winner. It's Eva from, I think she's from Chicago or Toronto. I keep forgetting. Sorry, don't hate me. And so we'll talk to her and get her the gift somehow. We'll ship it or, saved contact, social distancing. But thank you, Kathryn, very, very much for being with us today. Hopefully we can bring you on later. Hopefully we can
I would love that.
Not virtual next time. And maybe we can do some cooking and I can do more medical stuff. Maybe we can get a doctor to do tasting, a nutrition person.
That'd be great.
Right?
Yeah,
a nutritionist really and tell us about the recipe and the ingredients.
Let's get the chocolate stuff.
The chocolate stuff is always good. Doctor recommended. Yeah, not too
good.
Thank you very, very much. And thank you for everybody that was attending. Obviously, this will be also on AMB TV, so you can watch us there. And we'll be again live on next week. So if you have any topics or any interests or anything, just let us know. Thank you and have a good day. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for having me.